Hi, folks, and welcome to Mustang's. Need a name here. Mustang's video review series of warships from the closed beta of World of Warships. Today, we're going to cover the USS Erie, which is a Tier 1 destroyer in the game. Was actually a gunboat laid down in the 1930s. So what we'll go over first is some historical information, and then we'll go over some of the ship specifications. Is a gunboat class. It was ordered on November 1st of 1933 at a cost of $6 million. It was laid down in December 17th of 1934 and launched February 29th of 1936. She was commissioned on July 1st, 1936, and struck from the records after being sunk on July 28th, 1943. She had a hull symbol of PG-50 for Patrol Gunboat 50. She was awarded 1 battle star, the American Defense Service Medal with the Fleet class, the American Campaign Medal, and the World War II Victory Medal. She was torpedoed and beached on November 12, 1942, and then capsized during her attempted salvage on the 5th of December, 1942. She was built in New York at the Brooklyn Naval Yard. So she was about 2,000 tons, or 2,800 tons of the full load. She had a length of 328 feet from stem to stern, bow to stern. She had a beam of 41 feet, and the beam is how much height? No, I'm sorry, beam is width. 41 feet from port to starboard at her widest side. And her height was 104 feet tall. Her limit included space for 1 admiral, 4 staff officers, 1 ship captain, 11 other officers for a grand total of 17. She had space for chief petty officers, 4 flag chief petty officers, 1 aviation chief petty officer, 1 marine chief petty officer, and 13 ships chief petty officers. She had a crew of 132, with 44 being those Marines. Total crew complement of 231. Real world. Let's take a look at her in World of Warships. In World of Warships, she is listed as a cruiser. She has 8,900 health points and an armor thickness of 6 to 88 millimeters. Around her citadel, it's 6 to 88 millimeters. Gun casements are up to 63 millimeters thick, and she had an armored deck in places of 32 millimeters thick. Let's see the gun casements here. In her initial phase, she was armed with 4 127 millimeter guns. 1, 2, 1, and the 4 guns, 1 and 2. These could pump out 12 rounds per minute, had an 18-second turn time from 180 degrees port to 180 degrees starboard. Had a maximum dispersion of 87 meters. HE shells, Mark 39 HE shells doing a maximum damage of 1,280, which has 11% chance of starting a fire with those HE shells. Her 127 millimeter Mark 15 armor-piercing shells can do a maximum damage of 2,480 with a maximum firing range of 9.6 kilometers. Secondary, she is actually armed with 28 millimeter anti-aircraft guns, up to 4. 2 sets of quad 28 millimeter guns. Maximum speed of 21 knots, with a turning radius of 650 meters and a rudder shift time, this is from full port to full starboard, of 4.8 seconds. And she is visible at 8.3 kilometers from the surface and 3.8 kilometers from the air. This is in her base configuration. As we go take a look at her upgraded configuration, we'll get a little bit more information. And I think I will probably follow this up with some gameplay videos. But at first, I'm going to basically just be hangar reviews, port reviews, ship port reviews. Really got to come up with a name for these things. So let's go over here to the modules section and take a look at what we have here on the hull. 4 main turrets, 4 anti-aircraft turrets, 8,900 help, armor thickness, as specified before, 6 to 88 millimeters. 127 by 51 Mark 7 cannons, 4 of them, 12 rounds per minute, 18-second port and starboard, 180-degree turn time, and a maximum shell damage of 1280 for HE with 11% fire chance, and 2480 for the armor-piercing shell. Maximum speed out of her only propulsion system, 6,200 shaft horsepower steam turbines with 21 knots, and her fire control gives her a firing range of 9.6 kilometers. So within the game, you get the chance to upgrade her to a 1936 configuration, which I don't believe was actually done. I have to go back to the historical, which I can't do right now. I've closed that browser page already. Take a look at her in her 1936 view. Gives her another 1,000 hit points, which is pretty nice. So go ahead and mount that up. And this is her in her 1936 view. Not a whole lot of changes that we can see, at least that I notice. We bulk up her 152 millimeter Mark 17s, a slower rate of fire and a slower degree return time, but they do a fair amount more damage. So we will go ahead and mount these up. And now you do see that they get the casements, which kind of makes them look a little bit better. And that, my friends, is the USS Erie, Tier 1 cruiser for the United States. As I said, if you want to see more, I will be going through each ship in turn, starting with the Erie and moving on to the Chester, St. Louis, the Chester, Great White Fleet looking ship, St. Louis, the Phoenix, and the Omaha. Once I get the other ships beyond the Omaha, I will move on to the Cleveland, Pensacola, New Orleans, Baltimore, and end up in the Des Moines, if I can get that all done before closed beta ends near the end of May. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and please leave any and all comments for what you would like to see in the comment section below. Thank you very much. Have a great day.